Order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Cheryl.
Mr. Dedad? Here. Mr. DePlacido? Here. Mr. Olivieri?
Here.
Mr. Shaw? Here. Ms. Shaw? Here. Mr. Wojtek? Mr. Zona? I believe he was going to call in, but I think he...
Yes, is every,
It's there, but it's not.
are we plugged in?
Yes, but I didn't hear it ring.
Okay. Very good.
Mr. Enos? Here. Ms. Huff? Here. Mr. Kruger? Here. Ms. Shea? Ms. Terry? Yes. Ms. Weber?
Mr. Wojtek is trying to call in and he's getting a no answer. Can we have some technical support? Oh, there. Which button?
The long left button, upper left. Right above the screen on the left.
Is he trying?
Yeah. Uh, Do we know which button it is? We might have hit the wrong button. I told him to call again. Well, let's move on. Okay, the next item on the agenda, any public comments on agenda items? Come on up, sign in. Keep your eye on that.
Good evening. I'm Kathy Fatika. I'm a resident of Mill Creek Township. First, I would like to thank those members of the committee who truly believed that they were providing a public service with this study. But sadly, there was no real study. A real study would have included research in all possible forms of government options that would be available for a second-class township. An investigation, data collection, collating, compare, contrast.
Mrs.
And-
Fatiga, this is
and
actually for agenda items. We have the public contact a little bit later on in the meeting. I'm so sorry.
So when,
It is number 11 on our agenda. The public comment at this point is just
it's
for
just
agenda.
about the agenda items,
Yes, yeah.
I apologize.
Okay.
You're going to hear me repeat this again. Thank you.
Any comments on the agenda items? Next item is approval of the minutes. Do you have a motion to approve the minutes? Second? Roll call?
Mr. Dedad? Yes. Mr. DePlacido?
Yes.
Mr. Olivieri?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw? Yes. Ms. Shaw? Yes. And Mr. Zona?
Yes.
Motion is so carried. Next item is the approval of the bills. Mr. Dedad?
We have one bill for approval from our consultants for $7,836.20, and I move that this bill be approved for payment.
I'll second.
Mr. Dedad?
Yes.
Mr. DePlacido?
Yes.
Mr. Olivieri?
Yes.
Ms. Shaw? Yes. Mr. Zani?
Motion is so carried. Next item are committee reports. First committee is the Budget Committee. Oh, this will be Mr. Wojtek calling in. Yeah, just what I'm trying to do. Hold on. How do you get this speaker? Yeah. There, over, right there. Hang on.
Paul? Yes.
It's coming through my ear. All right, Mr. Wojtek, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we'll put it by the microphone. Okay, committee reports, Mr. Dedad? Oh, yes.
The only thing I have to report is our running total. Prior to the bill that was approved tonight, our balance that we have remaining is $52,389.79.
Thank you, Mr. Dedad. Next committee report, local government structure, Mr. DePlacido.
Yeah, there was no activity this month on the structure committee.
Thank you. The following committee is a public outreach committee. Art Olajeri, we had no meeting this month. There was actually nothing to report. Next committee report is the executive committee. The executive committee has been meeting. We're working on the final draft report. It's a work in progress. It's not something that's going to be done in a day or a week. And it has gone out. One of the first drafts have gone out to the commissions. Members of the commission, we're still working on it. And if they have comments, they can send it to any member of the any person in the executive committee, but it should be addressed to Mr. Jim Dedad and copy Mr. John DePlacido and myself, Art Olajeri. Any questions? Next item, Committee of the Whole report. Basically, this is the same. It's a review of the draft final study commission report. We've been working on it for 2 weeks now, and there's just an awful lot of material to cover. And we're working very hard. We have additional meetings scheduled, and as soon as we have something concrete to bring in, we will be doing that. And until then, it's just a work in progress. Next item is new business. The commission has responded to a right to know appeal. We were informed that we needed to respond by June 19th. And we were informed that we need to hire legal counsel. And it was highly recommended that we use an attorney. We're using attorney Timothy Walker, Esquire. And he's helping us respond to that. But we actually need to approve that. So I'm going to ask the commission members to approve it. Do we have a motion to continue this process? A second?
I second it.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call vote, please? Yeah. Put it on this.
A couple comments on that before we go to the vote.
Okay.
Second. I acted quickly as chairman to get it, so hopefully nobody was offended that we retained Mr. Walker's services without the full board, full commission's authorization. Because of the timeline, I considered it an emergency, and talking with some legal folks, it was adequate, or it's okay to move forward to retain his services and then retroactively approve his contract, his engagement letter. I just wanted to let the commission know that's why we're doing this kind of retroactively after he's already done some work for us. It was because of the time. As you said, Art, we had to respond by the 19th, and I knew our meeting wasn't until today, so that's why I took it upon myself to bring him on board. So my apologies to any commission members that might feel that maybe we acted without full authorization, but based on the timing, that's why I took that action.
Thank you, Mr. Wojtek. We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Degan? Yes. Mr. DePlacido?
Yes.
Mr. Algieri?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw? Yes. Ms. Shaw? Yes. Mr. Wojtek?
Yes.
Mr. Zona?
Yes. Motion is so carried. Next item is other business. Does anybody want to bring up, any commission member want to bring up other business?
Art, I'm not sure if this would fall under other business or good of the order, but I'll bring it up now. I just want to remind viewers, people in the audience who have questions or want to understand more about the decision that this commission has made, that we're trying to get that information out in many different ways. One is the website Kim Huff was managing, and there's a lot of information there on our website. It's the Mill Creek Township Government Study Commission's website. Also, one of the meetings that if you didn't attend or haven't viewed it, you should view the meeting of May 12th, 2025. It's available on YouTube, and that's where each member of the study commission explained their decision and why they made that conclusion. And again, that's on YouTube. You'll have to search for Mill Creek Township Government Study Commission meeting May 12th, 2025. Also, if you want to see for yourself some of the financial information on which we've been talking about, that information is available. It's on Mill Creek Township's website. From the home page, you'll just click on Government, which is at the top right, and you'll scroll down to Budget and Audits, and that will get you to audit information for several years prior to 2024. And you can look at each of those years and you can see what we saw. And then also, you've heard me speak a lot, especially at the May 12th meeting, about our financial analysis, and because that's the role of my committee, but it's my recommendation and this commission's recommendation was not based solely on financial analysis. The financial issues are a symptom of a bigger problem, not the root cause itself. The root cause is Mill Creek's current form of government. So, I highly encourage you to go out there and look at all that information that's available. It's there. And you will see we're working on, as Art has already mentioned a couple of times, the final report that's required by law that we issue, and there will be in that report information on what the commission has performed and the reasons for our decision and supporting documentation for those reasons.
Okay. Hello, Donna Shaw. I have something, I don't know when is the appropriate time, but I think today, right now, is the appropriate time. During the meeting of 6/9/25, I did not speak after our numerous public speakers. I felt the other commission members had answered most of the points I would have covered. It was great to see the residents of Mill Creek coming out on a stormy night to attend the Government Study Commission. And look at it tonight, it's beautiful, and we're here. The government choice I recommended during the commission's May 12th meeting was the council manager form. It is number 4 of the government choices for second-class townships. When we were able to see how other second-class townships operated under this form, it was enlightening. The main point was the fact that a professional manager can have a positive effect while they administer the directives from the 5 part-time elected supervisors. This form of governing creates a separation of executive, administrative, and legislative branches. A professional manager can also help reduce the legal fee expenditures as they are more familiar with the legal requirements that can occur through the township's day-to-day operations. The whole management culture can operate more efficiently, and there are more checks and balances in an apolitical atmosphere. I do want to share why I am on the commission. If I have 2 photo books that if you could start passing those out. I initially joined under protest. Then I realized that it was my duty to serve on the commission because I am passionate about Mill Creek Township. I have been a lifetime resident except for about 3 years when I lived in New Hampshire. I grew up on what I see is now one of the last farms in Mill Creek. Picture the Humane Society on Zimmerly Road, now also called Interchange Road. Our farm was directly across from the Humane Society. We had horses, cows, pigs, and chickens. My great uncle owned the large plot of land across from our farm where you now see the village surgery center and other businesses. We grew hay and oats on that property. I'm going to pass around those photo books. It'll show the destruction of part of our farm. It is now all leveled and is up for sale by a developer. There was a huge barn on the property, but my parents had it torn down when there was no longer livestock, and the barn wood was recycled, along with the stones that had been gathered in all the fields and creeks surrounding. All the girls in the neighborhood had horses. We had trails through the woods that is now Interstate 79. We would also cross Walnut Creek on our horses and ride through the woods of the area that is now called Mill Creek Mall. I'm telling you this because think of all the changes and development Mill Creek has gone through. Don't we owe it to the future of the Mill Creek citizens to operate in a method that is, as we've been stating, a method of the 21st century? One other thing of note, my father, George Shermer, retired from Mill Creek Township as a streets department employee. He was their top grader operator, and Brian McGrath will attest to that. He called him a legend in how he could operate the grader. Our family enjoyed the great insurance benefits that the township offered my father. When he retired, Phyllis from the office, and some of you may be familiar with her, she set my parents up with the right insurance to go into their retirement. A funny thing to mention, my father didn't get a gold watch from the streets department, but the guys gave him a beer keg set up for his garage refrigerator. And that's not why he was a legend. I have no political aspirations, and I came into this project with a passion to try and make a difference for all the citizens of Mill Creek Township and to keep Mill Creek a vibrant and sustainable community. And as Jim Dedad mentioned, please review our May 12th commission meeting on YouTube where all commission members gave their opinions for the recommended form of government. Thank you.
Yes, sure.
I'd like to read into the record and ask Mike, one of our consultants, to clarify if it needs to be, but there was an email going around regarding the election cycle. Mike, do you want to read it, or do you want me to read your email into the record? All right. It says the election cycle is a 3/2 starting in 2027, as the election cycle attachment had stated earlier. I already sent you this to all of you. The three running in 2027 would be one for a 4-year term for the current seat, one for a 4-year term for the new additional member of council, and a third seat would be for a 2-year term to keep the election cycle 3/2. I sense that I've talked with other people throughout the week that there is some confusion as to what's going to happen if the motion to go to a new form of government is approved, and that'll clarify, I think, how the election of future supervisors will work. Michael, any comments?
Thank you, Mr. Schaaf. Any comments?
What you stated from my memo or email appears correct in terms of the election cycle rotation. To elaborate, in 2027, there'll be 3 running. In 2029, there'll be 2 individuals running. One individual who's now a current supervisor, his term will be up, and the person who ran for a 2-year term, which being one of the 2 additional members, that term will be up after 2 years, so you'll have 2 people running in 2029. The three people running rotation will start again in 2031, and 2 people running will be in 2033 going forward. So it'll be 3-2, 3-2 every municipal election cycle every 2 years.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
Any other new business that needs to be brought up? Mrs. Weber?
I understand that alternates can speak, but of course we can't vote. But you
Go
can
ahead.
speak. Before the referendum starting the study commission, creating the study commission was approved by the voters, some of the people in this room, who are the same people who constantly attend these meetings to complain, made every effort to prevent township residents from having the benefit of a government study to see if the form of government here in Mill Creek could be strengthened to better serve the needs of the residents and to position us for a brighter future that meets the needs of a full-grown township. These same people even paid for a mean-spirited and dishonest advertising to prevent this study. I have a copy of one of those ads in my hand, which reads, "A majority of the individuals running for study commission have no intent to study anything." It goes on to say, "Vote no on November 5th to the partisan Mill Creek government study." Well, as far as I know, I think, Mr. Schaaf, are you a Democrat? Not that it matters. What I'm trying to say here is, I think this study commission is composed of people who are Democrats and people who are Republicans. I know it is. I think, Mr. Wojtek's not here, but he might be on the phone. I believe that he's a Democrat. What are you, RJ? Democrat. Yeah, I think it's pretty close to half and half. So this thing about partisan is ridiculous. But I will say, if this is partisan, look at what that nasty ad said. And then it says at the bottom, paid for by the Mill Creek Democratic Committee. If that isn't partisan, well, what is? Those elected to the commission, well, here we are 9 months later, and this study commission has spent hundreds of hours on research and study, all to benefit the residents of our township. So I guess this said you weren't going to conduct a study, but thank you because you did. Bias is defined as being in favor or against one thing, person, or group compared with another, usually in a way considered to be unfair. I cannot count the times some of you have come to these meetings and accused these commission members of being biased. And the ironic thing is, you who accuse them of this are so biased. You're so biased against even considering change that you even tried to prevent the study from happening. You are truly biased. You come here and tear down these hardworking commission members, and in doing so, you're attempting to hinder the process, which in turn hurts all township residents. You, in essence, are failing our township. To those of you who criticize this commission, where were you last August when these people spent weeks walking the streets in the heat, circulating petitions just to get on the ballot to try to become part-time volunteers for an organization that would take up months and hours of their time? You had every opportunity to run for a study commission, but none of you were willing to give your time up for the township. And yet you have the nerve to come here and constantly complain about them. Now the commission has made a recommendation, and they are in the process of compiling a report to show the research and reasoning that led them to that recommendation. But before you have even seen this report, before you know all the facts, you are condemning the process and the recommendation. Mrs. Fatika, you came up here tonight and you began to say that no study was done, no other forms of government were looked at, nothing was done. Yes, it was. You can go on the website and you can look on the minutes and you will see that all that was conducted. And there is a timeline that is followed for this study, and it goes by law. And what it says is, first there is a recommendation, then the report comes out. Tell me, if it appeared that you might be having a medical issue such as a heart issue, would a doctor, without doing any tests to confirm a diagnosis, perform open heart surgery on you, and would you agree to that being done to your body without any tests being conducted? This is what you are doing here. Instead of waiting for the report to come out and studying all the facts that will be presented in the commission's report, a report required by law, you're condemning the recommendation without knowledge upon how the report was created and how the recommendation came to be. Now that is bias. Mill Creek residents are so fortunate to have a study commission which includes people with the education, experience, and character of the people you see here before you. Let me take a minute to do this. Paul Wojtek earned a master's in business administration. He brings to this commission 40 years of experience with municipal authority finances. The last 24 years, he was in the position of finance director, chief financial officer, and chief executive officer of the Erie Waterworks, where he oversaw 110 employees. He received PMAA's highest award for honesty, integrity, fairness, efficiency, and fiscal responsibility. On a personal note, Paul served on the boards of the American Heart Association and the Booker T. Washington Education Center. He also served 12 years as the parish finance director for Our Lady of Peace and has been involved in other volunteer service to our community. When you tear this commission down, you're tearing someone down who did those things. Art Olajeri earned a BA in business and brings to this commission over 40 years of experience as a successful business owner or employer. And I know about Art's business. I can't tell you how many cancer fundraisers they gave to, how many things they did for charity, even when business might not have been that good. He served as president of the West Area Plaza Merchants Association, president of the St. George Parish Council, St. George School Board, and he still volunteers at the church. He coached youth sports and he chaired fundraising events for the Barber Center. John DePlacido earned a BSEE degree, a Master's of Science in Engineering, and a Master's of Business Administration. He was employed for 42 years and as an electrical engineer with General Electric in Erie. For over 40 years, he collectively served on the Mill Creek Township Sewer Authority, Mill Creek School Board, Erie County Technical School Board, and Parish Council at his church. He is a United States Air Force veteran. John, thank you for your service to our country. Maybe you should show some respect for that. Jim Dedad earned a bachelor's in business administration as well as a master's in business administration. His career spanned 20 years with PNC Bank and 24 years with Erie Insurance in internal auditing and financial analysis. Believe me, when he looks at the budgets and the township audits, he knows what he's seeing, as well as governance, risk, and compliance, along with management roles. His many volunteer efforts include president of the former Erie chapter of the Internal Auditors and board chair of Housing and Neighborhood Development Service, HANDS, that helps all kinds of poor people. Bill Schaaf earned a bachelor's of science degree in industrial management, as well as a master's degree of business administration. He owned and operated successful businesses for many years in our community. His work has included Sertoma Club, Interchurch Ministries, Catholic Charities, and he has served over 4,000 hours with the DAV at the Erie Veterans Medical Center. You can find him logging many miles in his retirement still each week, transporting veterans to medical appointments. He is a United States Marine Corps veteran, honorably discharged with the rank of Captain with Combat Service. Bill, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service to our country. When you tear this commission down, that's the kind of person you're tearing down. Stop right now. Donna Shaw earned a bachelor's degree of science in business administration. She brings to this commission 48 years of experience in sales and marketing, with 25 of those as an employee benefits consultant, for which she won many company awards. I know people who are alive today because Donna Shaw went the last mile to help them afford medical treatment. Donna, you are a wonderful person. Her many volunteer efforts have included roles of Girl Scout leader, church council member, and more. And lastly, R.J. Zona. R.J. Zona earned a bachelor's degree in communications and a master's degree in health service administration. He served as vice president of United Way, including leading the organization to its highest fundraising total in its 100-year history. He also served in management roles at the Multiple Sclerosis Society in New York City and the Association for Disabled Citizens for the Capital Region of Pennsylvania. He currently serves as an auditor for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. His volunteer roles have included service as a board member of the Community Blood Bank and the Boys and Girls Club of Erie. All of these commission members should be applauded and thanked for their service. They are all longtime Mill Creek homeowners and taxpayers who have raised their families in Mill Creek Township, and they are here for you. They are here to see if your township could be strengthened and made better for our children and our grandchildren for years to come. Not one of these people's professional careers, volunteer service commitments, or personal lives speak in any way saying they are biased. They are exemplary citizens, and again, Mill Creek residents are lucky to have them. So the next time you come in here and put them down, I'm going to ask you, why were you not willing to walk door to door? Why were you not willing to sacrifice your time to serve on the commission? And what have you done for our community? And one last thing. You, Mr. Prozan, the study you were involved in is 13 years old. All right, Mr. Prozan came in here and mentioned the study, but the study he was involved with is 13 years old, so it is no longer relevant. It's time to let this study commission do their work. There have been 3 studies, including the CCOM study. Your study and the CCOM study both said they recommended the same change, and the one study recommended no change. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Weber is a member of our Township Government Study Committee. She's part of our Public Outreach Committee, and she was originally elected, actually with the highest vote total, to be a commissioner, but for personal reasons, she had to step aside, and she's still very, very active on our committee. Thank you, Mrs. Weber. Anybody else want to bring up any new business? Okay. Next item is public comment on any matter. Absolutely. Okay, because of the large number of people here, we're going to ask you to keep it to 3 minutes after you sign in.
Yeah, where's the sign-in?
Right, should be. Is there one there?
There's not.
We'll get.
No worries. Absolutely.
All right, now you can, yeah.
Give you my zip code too. All right. Thank you guys for letting me speak. And I actually had this written down before that last explosive statement. I want to thank every single one of you for your public service, your commitment to our community, and in the cases of the veterans, the commitment to our country. So this has nothing to do with you guys as a people, you as citizens of Mill Creek. This has nothing to do with anything of that. I'm getting there. I am Grant Philbeck. I'm the youngest person in this room. I'm just going to claim that. Mill Creek is my home. I'm a homeowner in the Highland Park neighborhood. I've been a homeowner there for about 6 months, and before that I rented, and before that I grew up in Mill Creek Township. So I'm very committed to the future of this community. I support a study, but I don't support your study. And that's not personal to you guys. Again, I just don't believe in your results. $100,000 of my taxpayer money, my parents' taxpayer money, my friends' taxpayer money is being used by you guys. Comparison to 2011, 3,200. That's pretty crazy. The one thing that I really wanted to point out real quick is that you are paying a consultant from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, over let's say close to $80,000 of my taxpayer dollars. That is outrageous. To give you something that you already know that you want to do, which is to do a weaker form of government that will cost us more money and that will cost us more time and less efficient government. I want to also hit on the council manager setting. A manager has no electoral priority. They have no one who they answer to other than the 5 commissioners who you would be electing, or supervisors or township council people. They can do whatever they want. It doesn't really matter because as long as they're friends with the 5 people, they are clear to go. It also disenfranchises Bell Valley, which Mr. Zana once said in one of your committee meetings. It also disenfranchises Republican voters. If you elect 5 township supervisors across the township, Bell Valley, Central Mill Creek, and Republican voters are going to be disenfranchised. Make them districts. Part-time supervisors are going to lead to chaos. We all see what goes on in the city of Erie. I don't have to remind you about how dysfunctional and chaotic that government is. And that will be the result of this passing. I decided not to move into the city of Erie. I wanted to stay in Mill Creek Township. I don't need the city of Erie to move to Mill Creek Township. And long story short, you're also using this $100,000 of my taxpayer money for political campaigning. And before you went to the primary election sites, handing out literature, again, paid for by my taxpayer dollars, I was disheartened to see that. And there was no information on it either. And I met one of you there. I believe it was the Marine veteran. So again, thank you for your service there. But that's who I met, and I talked to you, but I just didn't get a good picture of what you guys are doing. I think you guys put this on the ballot on a presidential year, and now you're putting it on a municipal year, and that is wrong. So thank you so much, and I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Next. No. If we want to wait after. Identify yourself again, please, and let's keep it to 3 minutes.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. And I am going to begin again because apparently what I was saying appears to have been misunderstood. I thank...
Can you speak into the microphone, please?
I'll lower it there. I thank the committee members for what they did. I think they truly believed that they were providing a public service for this study. My concern and my problem is not with your work, but with the study itself. As I started to say, and I apologize for getting out of order, a real study would have included research in all the possible forms of government that might be available to a second-class municipality. An investigation, the research, data collection, compare, contrast, and then the voters would be given the opportunity to receive all of the information and get the recommendation. It appears that it was more confusing to me because it looked like a ready, fire, aim approach. It would be like, and thank you for the segue, having a discussion with your doctor about some heart studies that needed to be done. And you and your doctor would discuss them to get a good cardiac evaluation. And then, before all the tests were completed, before all the results were in, your doctor presented you with the idea that you were going to have a heart transplant. I have lived in Mill Creek for 50 years. I love Mill Creek Township. Mill Creek Township has my heart. And as a result of this study, I can't believe that Mill Creek Township needs a heart transplant. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Candy Horm, and I am a Mill Creek Township resident. And I want to thank you for all the work that you have done. I could not even imagine the hours you have spent, and math and numbers are not my strength. But what I hear from the supervisors does not make sense. I'm the type of person, bring it down to ages 5 and under, and I might be able to understand it. But some of the money they throw out that's coming from my pocket, I understand that I'm getting ripped off. So what I want to do, explain to you guys, everybody out here, what you have done. Like if you have a car and it's not running, what do? You pop the hood, you look underneath, okay, is it the battery? Is it the starter? Is it the alternator? Do you have bad gas? You know, and if that doesn't remedy it, if the engine is blown or shot and the tranny's blown, it might be time to get another vehicle because it's too expensive to repair. We are at that position now with our Board of Supervisors. I think we need a new type of government because what we have now is not working. If they don't hear you and they don't hear your complaint, who do you go to? There's nobody above them. But if you have a township manager, you have somebody that you can go above. Right now, there is no oversight. If they don't want to hear your complaint, they don't. And I have heard numerous people, you know, especially with the flooding issues or with the buying of the 8th Street property, you know, I don't know how many other townships you studied that are into real estate and being a landlord. Their first priority should be taking care of the memberships. And I do remember Ms. Clear saying on the news when they were talking about the gas well, the orphan gas well being plugged, her top priority is the well-being of the residents. But it's been 12 years, maybe 20 years, and there's still flooding issues and a lot of infrastructure issues that aren't being addressed. And then you're whining about $100,000 for a study, but you don't say anything about $7.2 million for 8th Street or $3.7 million for the Shrine Club. You know, I think maybe your priorities need to change. I'm sorry you find it so funny, Ms. Fatika. I don't mean to, I'm not a comedian or anything, but we are allowed to disagree. But that's all I have to say, and I want to thank you for the work that you have done. I do appreciate, you know, what you have done and what you have brought out. And like I said before, and this was at a supervisor's meeting, that paper that you had given out, that was not propaganda. Those were facts. You gave out your decision, and you gave out why you decided that.
Okay, your time's up.
That's it. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Next, welcome.
Whoops. Hi, my name is Marcia Uraro Terry. I live on Steratania Road in Mill Creek. I have been a Mill Creek resident for a long time. My family has lived in Mill Creek forever. Last November, we, the Mill Creek voters, allowed 7 people to volunteer their time to study our present 3 supervisor government style versus other optional plans of government as allowed by the second-class government code. I'm very proud to be a part of this tedious venture for the good of our Mill Creek residents and citizens. We have studied, yes, Kathy, we have, and researched. We have learned other government types. We have interviewed other large townships and also interviewed our supervisors here in Mill Creek and some department managers in Mill Creek Township. This has been going on since December of 2024. A vote of the commissioners was taken at our May meeting recommending to adopt the council/board of supervisor, manager form of government. By the way, of the 25 largest townships, which Mill Creek is number 3 on that list, 92% are operating as council manager government style. What do the 23 townships know that we don't? The reasons are very obvious. We suggest a 5-council board versus the present 3 supervisors, and these are the reasons, or some of the reasons, why this recommendation is so important to us Mill Creek residents, all you folks that are sitting here. Presently, we have no separation of powers. The supervisors are both legislators and administrators. With a township manager, that person would act as the administrator executive, and the council are the legislative body. There are both checks and balances, which our present government type does not have. The recommended government type separates politics from administration, different than what we have today. In the recommended 5-council manager type, the 5 council supervisors are part-time, excuse me, and not employees of the township. The most they can make according to statute is approximately $8,400. It's like $83.58, something like that. And with the 5 non-employee council, the total per annum stipend is about half of what one of our present supervisors make as an employee with full benefits. The township manager would make in the neighborhood of $175,000, and the council supervisors hire the manager, who is very educated. Most of them have a master in government policy. The manager can be removed at any time,
It's 3
whereby...
minutes. It's 3 minutes.
3 minutes? Okay. Well,
Sorry.
thank you very much, and we appreciate the support.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Identify
Should I
yourself.
sign here? Okay. Thank you. My name is Robert Pretzel. I've been a resident of Mill Creek for, let's see, I moved here when I was 5 years old, so that's 77 years ago. I put 6 kids through the Mill Creek school system. One of my daughters is a teacher at McDowell right now. I want to thank you for your time that you've put on this committee. I'm not here today to criticize or to congratulate or anything else. I just want to express some feelings that I've had because of a recent occurrence. I've been a township auditor for several years, Mill Creek Township. I was on the Mill Creek Education Foundation, and I know the problems that you're having and the time it takes to do what you're doing, because I was also on the Mill Creek Township Government Study Commission in 2012. The thing that made me decide to come to the meeting and speak is because I ran into a township employee, very knowledgeable person, I won't say who it was, and he was talking about the new Government Study Commission. And I said, why are we having a new Government Study Commission? What about the one that we had spent a year on, interviewed all over Pennsylvania? We studied their forms of governments, townships, outside of Pennsylvania, interviewed 60-some different employees of every department in the township in a very comprehensive format to gain insight in the efficiency and so forth of the government that they were working under. We did a very in-depth study over a course of about a year, presented over 300 and some pages, 360 or 370 page summary of the study, and the summary. And this person, when I asked him the question, he says, "What study?" Didn't even know we did a study. What the hell we do it? A whole year of our time, and this guy didn't even know. This person didn't even know. So my question is, when you came here, decided to run for this job, had you been aware that there was a study? If you have you had a chance to read the study that we did? I mean, we're spending tens of thousands of dollars on consultants. I would think before we did that, we should at least find out what these other people found out. We learned a lot in our study. The conclusion, if you pull that 300 and some pages.
I'm sorry, your 3 minutes is up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Kim Huff, I'm a Mill Creek resident. I'm also an alternate. I just wanted to bring up to everyone's attention our website, millcreekgovstudy.com. If you go to our website, you will find that in 2012, there were actually 2 government studies done. One was elected by the residents, which is what you speak of this evening, and there was also one done independently by a group of concerned citizens in Mill Creek. 2 separate studies, 2 very separate results. Please go to our website, read that CCOM report, read the report from the elected commission in 2012. This commission, for people to say today that there was no study done, that there was no work done, is appalling. I, as an alternate, thankfully I am retired. Hours and thousands of hours these people have spent, the alternates have spent, and we are working to get this information out to the residents. So I encourage you, the schedule of 9 months that they have followed is set forth by the law. Do your research, it's out there. Read Title 53. And then the comment was made about how the city is in chaos. Let's talk about county government, which is run, okay? We have county counsel that is arguing constantly with the county executive. So don't just compare it to the city is in chaos because the county is in chaos. Don't say part-time government does not work because the county has run under part-time council since the 1970s when that was passed for them to do the home rule charter. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Welcome. By the way, 3 minutes doesn't give you very much time. Well, after that public statement by Mrs. Weber, my name's Doug Prozan, 3286 Lakefront Drive. This is my 3rd time here, and honestly, there's a lot of other things I'd like to be doing, like watching McHale Navy reruns or something. But anyways, I'll jump to the real basis of why I'm concerned. When I came, I offered my support to you. I've been there in your chair. I know what you're going through. But it really comes down to this. You're recommending this manager-council form of government. What we have now with the supervisors, they can hire a business manager. So you're mixing up the administration, the supervisors, their decisions, financial, legal, everything else, with the form of government. You're supposed to be looking at the form of government. There's no reason why you have to take an approach of a whole new form when the present supervisors can simply decide tomorrow they want to hire a business manager and the problem is solved. What you want is then solved. All right, now, there's a lot of statements being made. Mrs. Weber saying our study was done 30 years ago. Well, you know that's not true. It was done in 2012. Anyways, you said 30. You said 30.
All right, continue.
Miss Williams, what did she say? Oh, then I stand corrected. Okay? At least I admit it when I'm wrong. So any case, it's a bottom line. If you want to change to a business manager form, then simply suggest to the supervisors that they do it. You don't have to spend all this money, all this effort, all this turmoil to accomplish what you really want to do. Now, how simple is that? I'd rather have a form of government that gives you the option than one that gives you no options. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hello. Jim Gleckler, Pandora Drive. I'm going to talk about something a little different than probably what the other speakers have so far tonight. My main purpose is at the June meeting of the supervisors, there was a financial report that was presented by the treasurer, and it was very informative. But I just wanted to reassure the committee that our April meeting, where we reviewed the 2021, 2022, 2023 audit reports, nothing's really changed there. The treasurer's presentation, while it was nice, it doesn't change the facts and the trends that we talked about. So those, I've shared with Jim my thoughts on that. So nothing's really changed. In addition to the audit reports, we did look at the 2025 budget. We really didn't look at the 2024 information because we really didn't have anything on the 2024. All we had was estimated actual, which was included as part of the 2025 budget. That estimated actual, which was probably developed around December of 2024 as part of the budget process, showed a loss, a deficit of 1.3 million. I was a little surprised to hear at the June treasurer's report that that's changed now to a 1.9 excess of revenues over expenditures. So it's a 360 change. Went from 1.3 million loss to 1.9 profit. That's over a $3 million difference. How did we miss it that big? How did they miss it that big? That's a concern. Given such big swings in the numbers and given the audit deficiencies which were noted in the 2023 audit report, I think we have to wait till the 2024 audit report is done. I mean, I hope the treasurer is correct, but I have concerns. So, in closing, I just want to mention a couple things. Why did it take until June of 2025 to know what the results were as of the end of December 31st, 2024? Mill Creek Township can do better than this. How can the supervisors make sound financial decisions based on audit information from 2023, because that's the latest they have.
3 minutes is up.
Thank you, Art.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming in. Welcome.
Well, this was an impromptu idea that I thought I'd step up. I've been to one or two of your meetings, and I've been totally
Can
impressed.
you identify yourself?
No, not at all. Carol Piefel, and I'll sign this. And I've lived here for decades. I have a couple properties that are taxed. I have invested in this. Now, what I learned from you was very educational. It's sort of my first foray into government. The auditing deficits, the fact that every time you have more supervisors hired, it changes for the employees and who's going to manage them. And that you could hire a manager and then the next set of supervisors could get rid of a manager. It'd be very inconsistent. So I really have improved. I just wanted to say I approve of what you've done, the research you've done, and I think 92% of the other people know the best way to do this, and I'm glad that you're doing it. Okay. And besides, it's going to be up for election. The people still get to choose.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hey, Juris Video, 1720 West Gore Road.
I know where that is. Can you identify yourself?
I have told you guys you were biased, and I don't believe there isn't anybody in this room that isn't biased.
Jerry, can you tell everybody who you are?
Huh? Okay. So to that answer, the reason I didn't sign up for this study commission, and Mr. Shaw should attest to it, is I told him that I was opposed from the very beginning, so I would be one yes, positive yes, to no study at all. You know, no recommendation to change our government. So, although I haven't stepped up as much as you people have, I've been at the meetings. Dennis can attest to it, where many of you are just strangers. So I have a couple things to say. I've been reading Title 53, Chapter 29. Government study commissions are established to study and recommend. Their primary function is to research different forms and determine which would be beneficial, if any, for the municipality. This process usually culminates in a recommendation that goes to voters in a referendum. Okay. Using taxpayer money for political advertising, I don't know whether your pamphlets were political, but there were no cons, a lot of pros. Is generally prohibited in Pennsylvania. Okay. The role of the commission is to provide information, recommendations, not to advocate for a particular outcome once a decision is made. The decision on the form of the government ultimately rests with the voters, just like that last lady said. The Mill Creek Government Study Commission, after making a decision, will rely on voters to approve or reject their recommendation in a referendum. The commission itself would not then use taxpayer money to campaign for a yes vote. Now, just a little bit more, and I'll leave you guys to your, whatever, you know. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. You have to file a copy of your final report with the Department of Community and Economic Development. And all the records, reports,
tapes, minutes of all meetings and written discussions of the commission shall, upon its discharge, be turned over to the municipal clerk or secretary for permanent safekeeping and made available for public inspection at any time. That's Title 53, Chapter 29. I'm not done either. Yeah, okay.
It's 3 minutes, Mr. Servideo.
Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Look up, buck up, be straight. You still got time to retract.
Welcome.
Hello, I'm Linda Trahosky. I just want to thank you all for the work that you have done. I have been a lifelong resident of Mill Creek. Back in 2014, unfortunately became a single parent when my partner passed away and left me with a 4.5-year-old to raise by myself. I already had a son that I had raised who's now 33. My daughter's now 17. This is the reason that I did not run to be on the commission. I work 60 hours a week running a business as a single parent. I am the head of the Mill Creek Democratic Committee, and I came forward with the no vote, or no say no campaign. And the reason that I did that was because we knew coming into this what you had already planned to do. We had talked within our own community. We knew that it was going to be a manager with your supervisors underneath, part-time supervisors. And I received an email, first a voicemail, and then an email from a man named Dan Benzer, who I've never heard of in my life, after the campaign ran. And I have no clue how he got my phone number, my email address. I'm not on social media. I don't have Facebook. But it was basically, stop doing what you're doing. And it was very threatening, being a single parent. I didn't know if people knew where I lived. I didn't need that kind of threat coming towards me. And I'm not calling anybody up here nasty. I think it's very unprofessional of the way that some of you speak to us, not knowing why we were telling people to vote no against the study to start with, and just to prove that you already had planned what you wanted to do. Back on February 5th of 2025, there was an email sent that said, we will be looking to you to help educate the members of the commission about how a council board manager form of local government structure works. That was February 5th. How do you go from November to February and already have a study complete and know exactly what you wanted to do? Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. My time will start once I finish writing in all this info. I hear a lot of people say they're Mill Creek longtime residents. My family literally built some of Mill Creek. Thank you very much. There's a couple roads named after some family members. So, a few observations in the past, and I, personal, politics aren't personal, it's all relative. So when people are criticism, it's hard to not take it personal. I think some people are overreacting into a personal manner. So I'm sorry to hear that. I also think, though, we're all old enough to know the parable of the 5 blind men touching the elephant and all getting a different point of view. And I think we're all saying and seeing, but not listening and seeing and saying the same things. And we're talking over and at and not with and having a conversation. I think that's part of the problem. We all want Mill Creek to be great, maybe just not all the same way. There's nothing wrong with discord as long as we aren't disrespectful. I think a lot of people know my feelings about this. You may or may not know. But making this sausage is ugly and boring and long and notorious. I don't think a lot of people know how it's made, but we all love it. So I love Mill Creek, and thank you very much for all your time and hard work. And hopefully everyone remembers you can vote no, you can also vote yes. And I look forward, and I'm glad you guys made a decision. And I've asked in the past, though, how you weighed, and I know you're coming out with a report. I look forward to reading it, of how you weighed pros and cons, how this decision was truly made, if it really was. And I've said in the past, perception is not reality, reality is perceived. Are we all just, someone's just dreaming about us? Who knows?
Thank you. Is there any more comments from the public? Yes. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Ann Silverthorne. I just want to address a couple of things very quickly. Number one, the $3,000 figure for the 2012 study is incorrect. That was the figure for secretarial services alone. I believe it was in the tens of thousands of dollars, which is still less. Also, I wonder, Kathy Fatika, how you know okay, it was said that someone knows exactly how this study was performed when the actual report has not been. So maybe at the next meeting you can say how you got your insider information on how this study was performed. Again, another thing, accusing this commission of having their minds made up beforehand, that's very accusatory and presumptuous. Let's talk about the actual report, though, from 2012. And what I hope when I see the new report is that it will be a little different from the 2012 report. It was not 300 pages, it was 374 pages. Let's talk about its content. 23 pages of that study were original content. 160 pages were printouts of second-class township code and home rule optional plans law. 124 pages were Google printouts on other townships and their experience with township managers. And I used to teach a class called Critical Analysis, and yes, okay. There's something called confirmation bias, and that's when you seek information to reinforce your existing beliefs or hypotheses. So I hope that this new report will not have pages and pages of things that we could have just downloaded from Google, and that it will have more than 23 pages of original content. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have anybody else wants to comment? All right, thank you. Next item is there anything else for the good of the order? All right.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody who showed up here today. I really appreciate your time. your effort to come here, to listen, to talk. I appreciate your comments. You're right, we can disagree and not be disagreeable. I'm just going to restate some facts that we were overwhelmingly elected to serve in this voluntary position. I don't think anybody came in here with any preconceived notions. I've learned more about how second-class townships operate than I ever thought I would. And I work in second-class townships every day of my life for the Auditor General. I don't think we could have done this without having the guidance of these folks. We wouldn't know what the heck we were doing. We'd be chasing our tails for 6 months. They told us, they explained to us the process, and we went through it step by step. We followed the timeline, step by step. We learned about all the different types of options that were available, or to do nothing. We spoke with people, we interviewed people, we researched. We did our homework. This commission knows more about second-class townships than probably most of Mill Creek. And the thing that saddens me is you're here, and you've paid attention, and you've watched, and you've listened, and you've learned, and you've commented. But the vast majority of the 54,000 people in Mill Creek have not. And we're going to depend on their vote one way or the other. Yet it's going to be an uninformed vote for the most case. So how do we inform our electorate about what we've learned? How do we move forward towards Election Day and present the information that we've learned in our hundreds and hundreds of hours of study to those who are going to pull a ballot or select a yes or no? That's the big question. Because we're not going to decide anything. You're not going to decide anything. The voters of Mill Creek will decide what they want. And I can tell you one thing, as I've learned, the enemy of efficiency and effectiveness and progress is the statement, well, that's just how we've always done it. And I hear that constantly in my job when I ask second-class townships why they're doing this or why they did this. And the secretary looks at me and, I don't know, that's just how we've always done it here. And I'm like, do you think it's the best way to do it? Well, no, it's just always how we've done it. So I encourage everybody to do their homework, to do their research, let the facts lead you, and do the right thing based on those facts. We owe it to everybody in Mill Creek to do the best we can and cast a good decision. That's my comment.
Any other comments from the commission? Mr. Wojtek? I just want to add something. We've tried to listen to a lot of people, and all of our meetings have been open to the public, and unfortunately, not enough people come to these meetings to learn and understand what's going on in their township. And none of us would be here if we didn't want a better Mill Creek. And it's okay to agree to disagree. It's the American way. As an entrepreneur for 35 years, you know, when you work for yourself, you don't punch a clock. You work a lot of hours. Sometimes you wonder whether it's always worth it. Sometimes you're not making minimum wage for the amount of time you put in. And sometimes during this process, I thought to myself, wow, this is like working, except that you don't get paid. And you just do it because it's kind of like being in, you know, you're owning your own business. You do it because you like it. But a lot of us decided, dedicated ourselves to it. And whether you agree with it or not, I would hate to add up the number of hours that just I spent, and you multiply it by 7 plus all the alternates that have worked, sometimes without recognition, and we put a lot of hours into it. And it's really not fair when we hear that we didn't do enough studying. We did. I'll be happy to outline the number of hours that I put in, and like I said, you multiply that by 7, and it's a lot. It's okay to disagree. The other thing I want to add to that is that we do have a website and a Facebook page where you can get more information that you might not have. The website is millcreekgovstudy.com, and the Facebook page is Mill Creek Government Study Commission. And there's a lot of information on there. Thanks to our IT committee, which is Kim Huff and Doug Kruger. Thank you very much. Any other comments? Do we have a motion to adjourn? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you all for coming.